Hey everyone, Jay Show here, and heading to the post office today. Figure why not record a video? Um, reason I just wanted to have a video about today. I was reminded of something yesterday when I was running through my business. I was looking for product, as you know, in this very hot market. That product is very hard to come by, whether you are reselling, Pokemon, Magic, whatever. There's a lot of buyers out there, and it seems like the sellers are very few and far between. But the reason I wanted to make this video is to just kind of tell you that your relationships when you're building your business matter. The people that you interact with, whether it's just for what you think is a single transaction, could be the start of a long blossoming relationship. And I think it's important to kind of take every single interaction that you have with people as the opportunity to form a new relationship in your business. And the reason I'm saying this is because I have been running into a situation recently where, a lot of product has been kind of hard to come by. And if you've been in the TCG space, you kind of know that this stuff comes in waves where, what I mean by that is 1 week you'll kind of have, nothing really going on as far as buying goes. You'll be waiting and waiting and waiting and waiting. And, you won't be able to source any product. And then, it all just kind of starts coming in quickly. And the reason I'm bringing this up is, like I said, I was having a hard time, getting product. And I had someone reach out to me yesterday out of the blue on Discord. And it was someone that I had worked with in the past to purchase lots. And first thing they messaged me on Discord. They're like, my singles guy. And it's kind of funny how things work out like that. But every interaction you take, every transaction you make with people is a way for them to establish a relationship with you as well. So I guess the point I'm trying to make here is it's really important to kind of treat people the way you want to be treated when it comes to running a business, when it comes to sourcing inventory, when it comes to, most aspects of life. It's the golden rule is always, treat others the way you want to be treated. And in relationships and business, it kind of works that way too. You want to have interactions with people that leave them feeling like they want to interact with you again. You want to be friendly, you want to be upbeat, you want to be personable. So anyway, getting back to the story, I was met with someone who, my singles guy. We get to talking, we agree upon a lot, and that'll be here this week. So all of a sudden, product that I was having such a hard time getting over the last couple weeks came to me. I spent probably a good portion of time over the last couple weeks, like I do every single week, trying to source inventory from, online communities, Discord communities, Facebook Marketplace, the same places that you go to try and find cards. And when you least expect it, there's always kind of that deal that pops up out of nowhere. And I like to attribute it to the relationships that I have made along the way when I'm dealing with customers, clients, people who are going to sell me product. Making sure that each one of those interactions is very, positive for both parties, right? You want to make sure that both people are coming away with a win. And in that particular case, I had someone who was looking to sell me singles. We agreed upon a fair percentage, and we, went on our merry way. I was able to get the product, and yeah, we're we're going to be having some new singles hitting the store this week. So, yeah. So, yeah, anyway, you may be thinking, what's the point of all this? Why are we talking relationships? If you treat everything in your business like a transaction, you will get that. You will get a very transactional relationship, whether that's good or bad. That's up to you. That's it's your business. I'm not going to tell you how to run your store, your LLC, whatever. That's not who I am. That's not the kind of person I am. But for me, I think you always catch more flies with honey than vinegar. I think that's the saying. I hope it is. Let me know in the comments if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure that's the saying. And treating people the way you want to be treated is a way to guide people towards the solution that you want. I was going through a phase in my life where I was reading a lot of self-help books, not for any particular reason, but it's just the genre was appealing to me at the time for whatever reason, and I just learned a lot about human psychology and all sorts of things through these kind of books that I read. And one of the most meaningful books that I did read was How to Win Friends and Influence People. Now it's an old school book, but it's time tested. And what I mean by this is, I'm not going to give you the cliff notes, the spark notes, the paraphrase version of the book, but essentially it's a book that teaches you how your small interactions with people on the day, up to your large interactions with people in the day, every time you're having a conversation with someone, it's an opportunity to form a relationship. And we're all human, right? We want that compassion, we want to feel wanted, and there's a lot of times where we just want to be heard. And what I mean by that is, you're talking to these people that you're having these conversations with, you're buying a lot, say, oh, hey, really cool collection. How long have you been a collector for? Take interest in the things that people are taking interest in. It's real simple to, kind of treat this as just a transactional business, but at the end of the day, you're dealing with people. A lot of the times you're sourcing your inventory for your store, they're lots from collectors. They're people who are, moving on from that portion of their collection because they have new collecting goals. They need the money for a birthday party. They need the money for, surgery. Welcome to America. They need money for XYZ. It's learning about people and talking to them like humans. That's really, I think, one of the most important parts of running a business. It's those interactions with people that really make you feel like you are part of a community. Just the people that you see on a day-to-day basis when you interact in your business, those are the people that help run your business. I just came back from the post office. I stop in, I say, hey, hey Colin, how's it going? If I see him there at the post office, and he's a good dude, he says, hey, how's your day going? How's your week going? Anything fun coming up this weekend? These conversations may seem meaningless in the moment, but they're building something unique and beautiful. these people that you see on a day-to-day basis, whether it's the post office or you know, depending on where you are in your journey, you may have repeat customers. You may have people reaching out to you in your DMs. You know, it's about taking that time and, you know, recognizing that we're human and we have this kind of like thing that connects us all, right? And the human experience is definitely a unique one, but the need for compassion, the need for building relationships is a part of the human experience that you can really use to leverage in your business. And it's truly, you know, this is just a long-winded video of saying you need to be kind in your business. You need to treat the people that you're dealing with the way you want to be treated. If you treat things transactionally, you're going to have a transaction-based business, and I'm going to be honest with you, I don't think that's as fun as running a business where you're dealing with people who are passionate, who are in the hobby, same as you. They want to talk about their time in the hobby. They want to talk about, oh, hey, you know, I have some cards that I'm looking to get rid of. I've sold to you in the past. You know, what do you think would be a fair percentage for this lot? And, you know, you have those transactions all the time. Maybe not at first when you're starting off, but if you treat everyone with kindness and show interest and, you know, really take to heart that, you know, they're a human just like you, I think you'll find a lot more success in your business. You'll have people coming back to you. You'll have, you know, those meaningful conversations that really make you want to be part of this hobby, of this space. You have those interactions on the daily that make it feel less like work and more like a fun, engaging way to spend your time, if that makes sense. It's real easy to kind of get caught up in all the hype and the money and the grind and everything else that comes with this territory. And it's real easy to forget at the end of the day, we are all human. And a lot of us yearn for that relationship. So anyway, that's all I pretty much have for today. You know, Mayhem sale coming up this weekend, or this Friday rather, if you are in the TCG player space. If you are, let me know in the comments below. You know, if you are ready for this week, if you still have some work to do. I know me, I will be spending a lot of this evening listing some of my lower end bulk on TCG player ahead of Mayhem to try and you know, capture some of those sales. But you know, again, all this video really to just say that be kind in your business, seek relationships, form meaningful bonds, and I think at the end of the day, if you do that, you're not only going to have a better time running this business, I also think you're going to have an easier time. But, you know, with that being said, thanks for joining me on this first post office chat, and we'll catch you in the next one. Have a great day.